You're watching Reality Check. 3 days ago, 2 men were beaten to death in Assam on false rumors that they were child abductors. Police say that part of those rumors was spread on WhatsApp, making the Assam killings part of a deadly pattern of mob lynchings based on fake news about child abductions. Since January this year, 9 people have been beaten to death on similar grounds from Telangana to Tamil Nadu to Karnataka and now Assam. In Karnataka, 1 person was killed and 3 others attacked in the past 2 months. The victims ranged from a man beaten to death in Bangalore on suspicion of being a child trafficker after he was seen distributing chocolate to children to others as well. Police have also saved 3 people from getting lynched in Bangalore, and a Sikh man was also saved from an attack in North Karnataka. It was around the same time that messages like these went viral. Don't allow your children to leave the house. Over 52 kids have been abducted in the district and police are hiding complaints from us. Clearly, this was fake news. A total of 20 have been arrested in Karnataka. In Tamil Nadu, 3 people reportedly killed in April. Since April this year, these range from a woman killed after she was seen distributing chocolates to children, migrant laborers have been killed and a beggar. Again, possibly fueled by messages like these. 200 child traffickers / criminals in brackets North Indians have entered Tamil Nadu and are planning to lure children from the state. A total of 51 people have been arrested in Tamil Nadu. This is spreading across states. In Telangana, 3 people have been killed in May this year, from a beggar to an auto rickshaw driver, again with messages about children being abducted and murdered. Take an example of this fake message. Mothers and fathers, beware and share this message. Beware of child abductors. A gang of them from Kerala and now in Karnataka are harvesting organs of children. A total of 45 have been arrested. It's not clear when all of this started, but one starting point could have been in Jharkhand last year, where 7 people were murdered in 2 separate incidents on the same day in Singhbhum district. Shortly before the attacks, viral messages like these started doing the rounds. Suspected child lifters are carrying sedatives, injections, spray, cotton and small towels. They speak Hindi, Bangla and Malayali. If you happen to see a stranger near your house, inform the local police immediately. Now, NDTV's Ratnadeep Chaudhary travelled to ground zero of the latest killing in Assam to uncover this familiar pattern. 2 men out for a picnic near a waterfall killed without any proof on suspicion they were child abductors, all because of a viral burst of fake news.
2 hours before they were beaten to death, the 2 young men stopped at this shop in Dengao, a small village over 3 hours east of Guwahati, to buy chocolates. They were on their way to a waterfall deep inside the forests, 15 kilometers from here.
वो चॉकलेट लिया है, चॉकलेट 2-3 चॉकलेट लिया, बादाम लिया, जो स्वीट बादाम लिया है, तो चॉकलेट लिया, लेके चले गए वो लोग। ऐसे तो मेरे को खास ऐसा नहीं लगा, तो क्योंकि आजकल फैशन का मैं भी पहले वहाँ बाहर में गया था, तो ये सब तो मेरे को नॉर्मल लगा।
It is the same place where the 2 young men were enjoying the stream which is flowing by and the tranquility of nature before the locals spotted them and thought that they are the child lifters.
Those rumors were stoked by almost 2 weeks of WhatsApp messages alerting people to be vigilant of outsiders on the prowl to lift children.
जिते हला होছে আমি ভাবছো বেলেকৰ খুনংতে আমাৰ ইয়াতো আহি গল এনেকা বুলি ভাবিছো আৰু আমি এই পিছতে হেই ফালৰ পৰা বলে ফোন কৰি পঠালে বলে হেই ভাঙাডং গছে ভাঙাডং লৰা এটা ধৰিব খুজিছিলে প্ৰথমতে হলা এনেকা কৈছে বলে লৰা এটা ধৰিলে গৈছে.
The victims had an altercation with a few young men near the waterfall. As they sped towards another village, a huge mob waited for them. Despite no proof that they had kidnapped children, this followed next. Locals claim they are not able to comprehend the attack. There are worries of another dimension to the violence. The alleged attackers, mostly tribals, Karbi and Bodo communities, while the victims, Assamese. This has led to a flood of sectarian hate messages on social media, with both sides targeting each other. The police have made 24 arrests in lynching case and about 40 people have been nabbed for spreading rumors and hate on social media. Local politicians have rushed to the spot, but at the moment have nothing to say beyond generalities.
लोगों के पास ये तो एक आतंक था, तो कोई हुपाधर आ गया, तो कहाँ से मिला, बोला ये व्हाट्सएप में आया, वो फेसबुक में आया, ये सब बताता था। लेकिन मैं ये लोगों से अपील किया था कि देखो ये झूठ भी हो सकता है, लेकिन सावधान से रहना।
The victim families also want this incident to be a wake-up call for the nation to the disturbing realities of social media. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary and Sanjay Chakraborty in Karbi Anglong, Rohit Wellington for NDTV.
And across the country, police forces have struggled to respond to this challenge. For example, in Bangalore, the police issued warnings to citizens on social media. In Vellore and Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu, they tried to spread awareness about fake news by dispatching auto rickshaws with speakers. And just now, the Assam Chief Minister as well as the police have put out appeals asking people not to fall for fake news and not to take the law into their own hands. Well, I spoke earlier today to Kuladhar Saikia, the DGP of Assam, and I began by asking him that you've made a number of arrests, over 30, both against those who've carried out the attack as well as those allegedly who spread this fake news. But have you come any closer to understanding how exactly all of this started?
See, whatever we have come to know till now, things are not very clear though, but we can just presume that, there must have been some sort of a rumor floating around that, some sort of child lifters would be coming all around sometime, like that. There's sort of a fake rumor was moving around. That's what we guessed it from some of the people we discussed.
Okay, but were we at least clear about whether these rumors are being spread on WhatsApp, social media, word of mouth?
That's what, like some guys have been saying that it was in the WhatsApp message. Some people are saying no, it was through the word of mouth. So it's we are verifying it now to what extent it's spread, through mouth or through some of the social media platforms.
Okay, the other angle,
it will be very clear now.
Right. The other aspect to this is that this worrying, concern that there may be a sort of sectarian dimension to it, that under the proxy of going after alleged child abductors, you have this tribal, non-tribal dimension to it. Is there any evidence of that at all?
No, look, the type of rumors, the fake news spreading along in some of the parts of the state, I have seen that there are two categories of such objectionable posts. One pertains to the, some of the child lifters in and around certain places, which are totally baseless sort of an, things. Then second is about, after the incident mostly, that, some sort of hate news, hate post, which was, basically against certain groups, against certain communities and things like that. But mostly in the beginning, for last few days, it was about those child lifters, kidnappers and all things like that,
Right. But the thing is that it appears that this particular incident took place over a considerable period of time. By the time these men were taken out of the car, beaten and all of that, there are even images which suggest that there was police present there, but they simply weren't able to prevent the violence.
I'm not going to give any sort of defense here because, whether police acted in time or not, we have sent a very senior officer there, he's an additional DGP rank officer to inquire into the matter. He will look into different parameters of the whole incident, and the moment we get the report from him, we'll take action. Even if a policeman has done something, which was not supposed to have been done by him, we'll definitely take action. Nobody will be spared,
Now, how do you as a police officer, because this is a very challenging time we're in, this is happening all over India, how as the police are you able to combat this?
Oh, listen, we have been taking it very, very seriously, and in fact, yesterday there was a very high-level meeting, and our Honorable Chief Minister has also asked us to go in for some sort of awareness campaign in all over the state in the name of a particular scheme he has talked about is a sanskar, sanskar for, sort of a reform, creating some sort of scientific temper in the minds of the people so that there shall not be such type of incident in future, all right? Let me tell you one thing, it's if you allow me to talk about my personal experience, as it was 2001 when I was the DIG in the western range of the state. I had started a particular project called Project Prahari. That was only to fight against this sort of social superstitions, and we had almost covered around 100 odd villages. So I mean that helped, so
right. Okay, so you're saying that these were all steps that you've taken in your own time to try and contain this kind of rumor mongering and superstition. Thank you very much indeed, Kuladhar Saikia, DGP Assam, for joining us. Also tonight on the show with us, Govindraj Ethiraj, who is the founder of India Spend and Boom, the fact-checking website, is with us. Desh Ratan Nigam, a member of the RSS, lawyer, also joining us here in the studio. Adil Singh Boparai of the Congress, thanks for being here with us. Now, we did try to reach out to Facebook and to WhatsApp to see if we could get them on the show as well, but they were not able to send us representatives. But Govind, they did direct us to you and to say in a sense that you have been working with them apparently to try and see if there's a way of trying to contain the spread of fake news on these platforms. But I'm not sure if, and I want to get your take on this, whether these platforms are able to do enough to try and check these sorts of messages, especially those that, as we can see, are turning fatal.
Right. Srinivasan, the thing is, we were working with Facebook for a pilot project on fake news busting leading up to the Karnataka elections, and that was a fairly fruitful exercise because we could actually spot and then respond to fake news or disinformation that had been obviously deliberately spread by certain parties. Now, that's one kind of fake news. What we have seen here in Assam or earlier in Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu is actually information or disinformation that's circulating in very, very tight local groups. And, it's really someone saying that I have seen these kidnappers, or there's a car coming into your village with two people who are most probably kidnappers. And then, people actually start taking the law into their own hands, and as the photographs that you've just shown of this Jeep that was obviously mangled quite badly. So I think there are two different issues here. I think there is an issue of rapid spread of information or disinformation through social media platforms like WhatsApp or Facebook or something else. Right. And the second is the breakdown of law and order. I think when we are looking at a situation where people are taking the law into their own hands, they're beating up defenseless people, they're killing them, it's a different issue that you're dealing with. I mean, obviously these people, the mob, the mob, becomes a law. It takes the law into its hands, delivers street justice for whatever reason, and refuses to listen to reason. I mean, the reports say that there were people saying that, listen, there are no children inside inside that Jeep, and you should let them go. And yet they kept on beating those people. They were circulating videos. So there's something seriously wrong with the people who are involved in such attempts to deliver mob justice or a mob reaction to whatever they perceive the problem is.
No, I agree with you. But while you are right in saying that there is something localized about these particular incidents and these messages, there are also certain strands that seem to unify them. One of which, of course, is this persistent fake rumors about child abductions. So, as you may have seen in our introduction, that was a constant, common thread running through all these instances. And it seemed, and it's kind of interesting. I'm just curious what your take on that would be as to why it's this particular trigger that seems to be popping up, whether it's in Andhra, Telangana, Assam, everywhere.
Right. So, you know, we did a story in May last year. I was just looking at on my laptop. It's May 23rd, 2017, and I can, I can show you I don't know if you can see this, but I can show you this story. It says child kidnapping rumors in India being spread with Syria image and Pakistan video. Right. So this was a whole year ago, and this basically used a clip from a video that was circulated in Pakistan showing two men on a motorbike taking a child and running away. But that video was actually meant to educate people about leaving children unattended.
Right.
It was nowhere a real video about children being kidnapped. Now that video has come back again and again into this country, you know, and perhaps similar, the same video or the same clip or versions of that clip have circulated in India in recent weeks and led to some of these problems. But I think it is clearly, I mean, obviously or evidently the fact that children could be kidnapped preys on fear of the worst kind for most parents. It's not something that, obviously they get worried. But I mean, Srinivasan, I would still come back to the point that whatever those fears are, the fact that people are actually picking up sticks and stones and beating people to death is something that you cannot, you cannot call it a social media phenomenon. It's a fundamental breakdown of societal, norms and law enforcement.
No, I agree. I mean, look, violence triggered by rumors is not new in this country. It's been going on for years. It's just that now social media gives it a new kind of virality. But Deshata Nigam and Adil, I mean, this is not a political thing, right? These messages are clearly not coming out of any sort of political dimension to them. They just seem to be more about fear-mongering and creating rumors. So this is not about Congress versus BJP or any of that. But Deshata Nigam, to you first, because it's also true that there is a wider ecosystem of fake news which also involves political parties. And isn't there a time now that political parties put aside their differences and come together to try and tackle this? Because, people are getting killed because of messages on WhatsApp and Facebook. It's crazy, actually.
Yes, it is. In fact, this is also the reality of our social media. And when people get killed like this, is really pains me. And it's certainly not about Congress or BJP, and Adil would, I think, agree with me. And we need to find out ways how to regulate this content on social media without compromising the freedom of speech. Some kind of a self-regulatory body of the social media providers and platforms, something of that kind. And
but what about
this cannot be just handled by even.
No, but what about beyond regulation? I'm saying, why not have a common platform of political parties, perhaps other stakeholders as well, in society, and try and educate people? I mean, A, for political parties to be themselves more responsible about propagating fake news, and 2, to come together and try and just educate people and say, listen, this business about child abduction and all of that, fake videos from other countries is rubbish. Don't fall for it. Why aren't we seeing more of that?
Yeah, in fact, it's a very good idea. In fact, because of the political reach of these political parties over large section of the people throughout India, if the political parties can form some kind of a platform to educate them, and since the political parties have their control over their own followers, and it would be a very effective way of making them aware and also having some kind of a social control on the people, so they do not fall for such kind of an organized familiar pattern that I am seeing where child is being used for spreading rumors.
Right. Would you agree, Adil? I mean, why doesn't the Congress and the BJP get together on at least these sorts of instances and say, look, let's just try and educate people, try and put an end to this?
Srinivasanji, I disagree with your premise.
Okay.
We feel that all this violence is on account of the BJP's insidious culture of hate and bigotry.
Oh God.
And that is the reason why I say this.
You are politicizing this.
No, it's not about politicization. I'm going to give you reasons why I'm saying this. I have seen this video where those two hapless boys are heard shouting that, no, we are Assamese.
Yeah.
Now, we know the kind of jargon which the RSS and the BJP, and with due respect to Nigam Saab, he's personally a very good man in an otherwise regressive organization. We know the kind of jargon which the Sangh Parivar uses in in Assam to polarize the electorate.
But
Let me go further. I'm giving you hard instances. Let me give you two more instances.
If you go beyond just what happened in Assam, and we still have to establish, as the DGP said, whether there was a sectarian dimension to this. But if you go beyond Assam, if you looked at the other instances we cited, whether it was in Telangana, whether it was in Tamil Nadu, whether it was in Karnataka, there seemed to be no evidence of any sort of political sectarian dimension. They were just, you know, messages, generic messages about child abduction.
I'll tell you how it all starts.
And being careful about outsiders.
I'll tell you, Srinivasanji, how it all starts. The BJP has mastered the art of spreading misinformation on social media. They have these live factories. So they start sending out WhatsApp messages, and it's extremely difficult. Once you send out these messages to create social fissures in society, it's very difficult to control this environment. And let me give you two more instances. Let's take the case of Akhlaq. We had a union minister going and paying homage. Homage to a murder accused. You are actually emboldening such elements, and it's tearing down our syncretic culture.
Before you go to other instances, since you seem to have politicized it, which I was hoping you won't, let me give Nigam a chance to respond. Yes.
I think I expected, from bottom of my heart, I expected Adil to go beyond politics and join all the parties. It was not only about BJP, the communists can also come in, the Samajwadis, and everybody can come in, because these parties have hold over their followers. And if the followers are educated,
but since he hasn't done that,
things can be controlled.
And but since he's not done that, do you want to respond to his allegation that there is a culture of fake news which is being spread by the BJP and the RSS, and he somehow links that to what we are seeing? If you want to respond to that.
No. I think that's one misrepresentation he should not have made. But that's the rhetoric. It starts from the president of the party to the spokesperson. So without any basis, so that rhetoric, they can continue doing politics. But this is not about politics. This is about saving lives of the people, and what is wrong if all the political parties come on the same platform and try to solve the problem.
Let me just go
Can I just respond?
I'll come back to you in a second. I just want to go to Govind for a second, because Govind, while it may seem idealistic, perhaps even naive, to say, look, can we have some sort of united political solidarity on this? In a wider sense, taking away from Adil's specific targeting of the BJP, in a wider sense, is there a point here that the kind of fake news climate created by political parties also feeds into, these sorts of attacks, which may not necessarily have a political dimension to them?
Right. I mean, I wouldn't go as so far as to connect the two dots right from end to end, because I think you need proof and evidence before you do that. But it is a fact that the political parties use social media, particularly WhatsApp, to distribute information, and in some cases disinformation as well, as we've found out in many cases now. And I don't think it's about one party or the other party. Every party today understands the power of social media and has achieved varying degrees of competence in doing so. But I think the answer to the question that you raised in some ways was there in the early part of the program. You referred to the Assam Chief Minister, or the DGP referred to the Assam Chief Minister, sort of talking about reaching out to people in the state of Assam and asking them not to heed rumors. I think law enforcement of this nature is a state issue, and every state needs to take this on. It's like almost like a cyclone warning. I mean, how do you tell people that there's a cyclone coming? You need to go out on the streets, start blasting loudspeakers, start putting out messages on local television stations, radio. I mean, it has to be taken on at that level to really quell this problem. Otherwise, of course, there are two dimensions. One is to not believe, and secondly, not to take the law in your own hands, because punishment could be severe. But it has to be done at that level and at a very, very aggressive war footing. Otherwise, we'll see more of these happening.
Those are helpful suggestions. Adil, quickly, we're running out of time.
I want to give you hard facts. Today in this country, there are lynchings in the name of the cow. There are lynchings in the name of the so-called bogey of love jihad. There are lynchings in the name of hate and bigotry. And this has become commonplace. Nobody can deny this. Neither can Mr. Nigam on this point.
But
now let me go further.
Lynchings, unfortunately, are not new in this country.
Let me go further. Yeah. There's been an alarming rise in lynchings post-2014. But let me give you some hard facts. When the Alwar MLA comes out and says that what happened to Pehlu Khan was right, what message are you sending to your cadres? I think Mr. Nigam needs to respond in that.
I think
when Mahesh Sharma goes to Dadri and pays homage to the
But
murder,
Adil,
what
that
message are you
is a
sending?
different, that's a
Let's
slightly
take the case
different
of
point.
Shambulal Regar.
You are mixing up
That's
the
a
issues.
different point.
Adil, you are mixing up the issues.
There is communalization,
I can always
there is
respond-
high-level
respond
endorsement of
to you, but-
communalization, and there is fake news.
We've seen how the BJP's
and the
IT
two
cell-
are not always the same.
Srinivasan, you know that better than me, how the BJP's IT cell peddles lies on a daily basis.
Okay,
how
let's leave.
threats are
We're
issued to
completely-
journalists.
Okay, we're
This
very,
is a
very,
reality.
we're very, very short on time. Absolutely, last word to Mr. Nigam, and then we'll have to wrap.
I think this has to be tackled on three fronts. One is about law and order. It's a part of a law and order setup. Second, awareness. And the third, somehow we need to have some kind of a content regulatory mechanism without, compromising the freedom of speech.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us. And we really hope that these incidents do not continue to multiply, because it is a huge, huge challenge for governments and for the police across India. That's it on Reality Check. Thanks for watching. Good night.